មាជិកគណៈបញ្ញសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាវិញ្ញាណសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបម្រើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរក្រុមគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសពវត្តថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងហូរហល់យើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គមជាកាមេរ៉ាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំដោយអំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរស់សេងសានជ័យយោគណៈបក្សសង្គ្រោះជាតិសមាជិកគណៈបញ្ញសង្គ្រោះជាតិប្រាជ្ញាថ្មីគ្មានសាមគ្គីក្រុមនានាសង្គ្រោះបម្រើការពារកម្ពុជាខ្មែរគ្រប់គ្នាទាមទារសិទ្ធិសេរីឯករាជ្យបូរណភាពអធិបតេយ្យខ្មែរប្រស្រីបដូរផ្ដាច់ថែរក្សាមិនឲ្យបរទេសឈ្លានពានមកត្រួតត្រាសម្បត្តិដូនតាធនធានជាតិខ្មែរព្រះអាទិត្យរាំងបំភ្លឺកម្ពុជាខ្មែរឯកភាពគ្នាដងស្រាយបញ្ហាយោបាយសេដ្ឋកិច្ចសង្គមអហិង្សាសពវត្តថ្លៃថ្លាជីវភាពរុងរឿងដីយើងពូជយើងហូរហល់យើងខ្មែរក្រោកឡើងសង្គ្រោះជាតិខេមរាបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យចំផ្ដល់អំណាចជូនប្រជាដើម្បីកម្ពុជារួមរស់សេងសាន
and welcome. Thank you for joining our show. This is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. This is part of the CNRPA, CNRP-America show. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here today. Today is March 29, 2022 in the USA. In Cambodia, it is March 30th, 2022, 25 years ago. There's a history that happened, a gruesome history, and that's what we are talking about. We will talk about, our topic today would be commemorating the 25th anniversary of the deadly March 30th, 1997 grenade attack. 25th year already, and impunity still exists in Cambodia. And again, thank you so much to the fan, to the audience that joining our show every Tuesday. And again, I would like to remind our audience, our show is in English. We have our show in Cambodia, in Khmer, 6 days a week. Today, the title Khmer Youth Voices for Justice for a reason. So that way our youth in America would understand what's going on in Cambodia. I am youthful. I'm and my guests today are very youthful as well. So the purpose of this show is so our current generations in America or all the world that able to speak English, able to understand English, can understand what's going on in Cambodia. Also, in order for us to help Cambodia, we have to understand what's going on. So Thank you, our audience, for being here. Thank you for every single Tuesday comment and being here. Again, this is CNRP America. Our title of the show is Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. The topic for today is commemorating the 25th anniversary of the deadly March 30, 1997 grenade attack. It is 25 years already. So before we start, we do have a campaign every week, and it's still here. Ending impunity for justice in Cambodia. We need your support. It still continue at change.org. Your support is very important to find justice for victims of state-backed killing in Cambodia. And today we will talk about state-backed killing in Cambodia that happened 25 years ago. So, and there's a glimmer of hope that we also going to talk about regarding the French court that came out in December regarding two of the Hun Sen bodyguards. So please join me to sign the petition. Please join me, share the petition at change.org. The title is Ending Impunity for Justice in Cambodia, a campaign to end impunity, a campaign to find justice for victims of state-backed killing. So please head to change.org. I'm going to play a short video clip of Her Excellency Mosukur thanking everyone. I'm sure everyone here, if you haven't signed it, please sign. And if you haven't shared the link, if you have not encouraged your friend and family to sign the petition, please help to encourage. We have over 112,000 signatures so far. So we're going to still keep going. So please watch the short clip of what's going on if you have not seen our show. This is Her Excellency Mosukur thanking you who have supported and also signed the petitions. Thank you so much.
អីប៉ាធ្វើល្អបានគេសម្រាប់
រដ្ឋប្រហារថ្ងៃទី5 ទី6
ជីវជាត្រូវបានខ្មាន់កំភ្លើង
សំណុំរឿងនេះជាប់ពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹងរាជរដ្ឋាភិបាលនៅអ្នកស្រីពីសិទ្ធិ
លោកបណ្ឌិតកាន់លីត្រូវបានខ្មាន់កំភ្លើងបាញ់សម្លាប់
3គ្រាប់កាលពីខែក្រោយប៉ុន្តែធ្លាក់មិនដងលែងដើរដើមសគុតភ្លាម
ខ្ញុំសូមថ្លែងអំណរគុណទៅដល់បងប្អូនដែលបានចូលរួមចុះហត្ថលេខាលើកញត្តិ
យុទ្ធនាការបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពនៅកម្ពុជា
តាមនិយាយទាំងអស់ពីពិភពលោកបានចូលរួម
ធ្វើនៅកាតព្វកិច្ចដ៏សំខាន់មួយ
ពិសេសយុវជនដែលបានចូលរួមញត្តិបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជារបស់យើង
ហើយក៏ជាលើកទី1នៅក្នុងប្រវត្តិសាស្ត្រដែលបងប្អូនខ្មែរទូទាំងពិភពលោកអាចមានឱកាសចូលរួមស្វែងរកយុត្តិធម៌
ជូនអ្នកដែលបានបាត់បង់ជីវិតទៅ
ហើយដល់ពេលនេះញត្តិយើងបានជាង 100000
ដែលញត្តិរបស់យើងគឺមានចំនួន 100000 ជាងហើយ
មិនដែលមានញត្តិណាមានខ្ពស់ដល់ប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយនៃទណ្ឌភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាដែលយើងចង់បញ្ចប់គឺករណីសម្លាប់ដោយអវត្តដូចជាករណីលោកជាវិជាករណីលោកស្រីពិសិដ្ឋលក្ខណៈចាក់នៃលោកករណីលោកឈុតវិធីករណីនៃបដិជនសុនប៊ុនធឿន
បានសម្លាប់រំពាលទៅលើពលរដ្ឋទៅលើអ្នកចេះដឹងទៅលើអ្នកដែលឈឺឆ្អាលរឿងប្រទេសជាតិរឿងនយោបាយ
ហើយបន្តប៉ុណ្ណោះគឺយើងនឹងស្វែងរកយុត្តិធម៌នៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាទៀតមិនឲ្យមានការកាប់សម្លាប់ប្រជាពលរដ្ឋក្រៅប្រព័ន្ធច្បាប់នោះទេ
ដូច្នេះយុទ្ធនាការនេះគឺជាយន្តការអន្តរជាតិមួយដើម្បីជួយរកយុត្តិធម៌គាត់តាមរយៈអន្តរជាតិ
ដើម្បីយើងប្តឹងទៅតុលាការអន្តរជាតិជួយរកភាពយុត្តិធម៌ជូនអ្នកដែលបានបាត់បង់ជីវិត
ញត្តិដែលយើងបានមកចុះហត្ថលេខាជាង 100000 នាក់នេះគឺយើងយកទៅអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិដើម្បីទាមទារឲ្យអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិដឹងថាត្រូវតែមានការស៊ើបអង្កេតឯករាជ្យលើករណីទាំងអស់នេះ
លុះត្រាតែបងប្អូនយើងទាំងអស់គ្នានៅក្នុងស្រុកនិងក្រៅស្រុកចូលរួមឲ្យបានច្រើនបន្តនៅយុទ្ធនាការបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
ដូច្នេះសូមបន្តចុះញត្តិឲ្យបានច្រើនគ្រប់គ្នាបន្ថែមទៀត
ហើយខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាពុកម៉ែបងប្អូននឹងបន្តចុះញត្តិអនឡាញនេះបន្តទៅទៀត
ដើម្បីឈានទៅរកយុត្តិធម៌ជូនដល់ជនរងគ្រោះឲ្យបញ្ចប់ពីទណ្ឌភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
ដោយគ្រាន់តែបងប្អូនមានត្រឹមតែទូរស័ព្ទដៃមួយគ្រឿងនេះគឺជារឿងអស្ចារ្យមួយនៅក្នុងសតវត្សទី21នៃសម័យបច្ចេកវិទ្យានេះ
យើងរួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
ចូលរួមបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅក្នុងកម្ពុជា
យើងចូលរួមបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជាទាំងអស់គ្នា
យើងរួមគ្នាដើម្បីបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
ដើម្បីបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពឲ្យមានយុត្តិធម៌នៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
រួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជា
រួមគ្នាបញ្ចប់នៃទណ្ឌភាពដើម្បី
ដើម្បីយុត្តិធម៌នៅកម្ពុជា
សូមបងប្អូនចូលរួមចុះហត្ថលេខាលើញត្តិរបស់យើងដើម្បីបញ្ចប់វប្បធម៌នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅប្រទេសកម្ពុជាដើម្បីរកយុត្តិធម៌ជូនទៅដល់អ្នកដែលរងគ្រោះចូលរួមបញ្ចប់នីតិរដ្ឋភាពនៅក្នុងប្រទេសកម្ពុជាចូលរួម
Thank you and welcome back. Welcome to our show. Our topic today is commemorating the 25th years anniversary of the deadly March 30th, 1997 Khmer attack. 1997 was a very bloody year in politics, not just in March 30th, but we will touch on that later on, hopefully next time. But today we will focus on March 30th, 1997. So in Cambodia, it is 25 years since the deadly Khmer attack. I have two wonderful guests that joining me today. My first guest, his name is Vannarin Puth. He is the CNRPA, CNRPO member, and he's a treasurer in Montreal, Canada. Let me welcome him. Chim Hiệp Su Luk Pu. How you doing?
Good. Yeah. In Canada, I believe it's much better about the COVID. The temperature maybe a little bit colder this week, but last week, the last 2 weeks, have beautiful weather. You know, it's spring, but still not the snow. The ice is still there, but at least we call spring. You know, so it's not so bad. Yeah.
Thank you, Luk Pu, for joining our show today. Today is a very sad day. I've been saying it's like been 25 years. So thank you for being here. Thank you for giving our youth some history today. And thank you for your input, in soon to be input as well. Thank you, Luk Pu. I have my second guest. Her name is Pauline Sum. She is the CNRPA WMA Women Affairs Secretary. She is in Modesto, California. Let me bring her out. Chum Riep Su, and thank you, Natmin.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And also, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good. Besides working so many hours, thank you so much for being my guest today, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Today we mark the 25th years anniversary. It's not something that we should be celebrating, but something that we are remembering about. It is March 30 in Cambodia right now. In 1997, there's a deadly Khmer attack. Before I start the show, I would like for us to do a 16-second silence for each of the people that have passed away in honor of their memory. Thank you, Natmin, and thank you, Luk Pu. For our audience that have not watched our show or are new to our show, welcome. Like I have mentioned, I'm gonna play a little short clip, but before I play a short clip, I would like to remind our audience what happened 25 years ago. 25 years ago on March 30, 1997, there is an authorized demonstration by the Khmer National Party, which is led by Mr. Sam Rainsy. So it was estimated that there were between 150 to 170 people at the demonstrations. And around 8 o'clock, there are 4 grenades that throw into the demonstrations. So there are between 70 and 80 a person were injured or killed. Due to the attack, 16 people have lost their life, and that's, like I said, almost everybody that got injured. It appeared that the main target of the attack was the leader of the Khmer Nation Party, which is Mr. Sam Rainsy, but that those responsible for the attack also intend to kill and injure anyone who attend the demonstrations. People know that the demonstration was called by the leadership of the KNP to demand the reorganization of Cambodia's judicial system. Under Cambodian law, officials must ask permission to have demonstration, and it is an authorized demonstrations, which the KNP, which stand for the Khmer Nation Party, asked for permissions, and they got permission to demonstrate at around 7:40 a.m. on Sunday, March 30, between 100 and 150 people. The demonstrator left the headquarters of the KNP and assembled opposite side of the National Assembly building in Phnom Penh. Mr. Sam Rainsy was at the front of the crowd, surrounded by Cambodian journalists and his bodyguards. At 8:20 a.m., the demonstration was attacked by individuals who threw a total of 4 grenades to the crowd. As a result, 16 people lost their life and many people got injured. There's one person that got injured was an American citizen. Let me show a little. He is no longer alive, but based on his injury, because of he is American citizen, the FBI investigate the whole attack, and we will talk about what's going on, and we will watch a little bit of history. Let me find the video, and then we'll watch a little history of what's going on. Yes, and thank you, Samuel. Fortunately, Mr. Sam Rainsy bodyguard saved him. So that's how we remember 25 years ago, and our at change.org, ending impunity for justice is very important, and also it's also important that we sign and we support the petitions as well. Let me find the video. I just want to give a warning. The video is gruesome. The video is it's real. It's not something that it's not an act. It's a real hold on. Let me share screen. This is from Mr. Sam Rainsy page or YouTube channel. Can you hear the noise? Just give a warning, it's very gruesome. This is not a movie. This is the real when it's happened during 25 years ago in Phnom Penh. It's tough to hear, even to hear and to see. I touched on this topic last year as well, and it never gone away. It's tough. So let me ask the question to Lopu Vannarin. Do you remember where you were at? Do you recall hearing about the attack?
Yeah, for sure, 1997 maybe, like you said, it the most deadly year that the whole Cambodian people passed through a very sad politics that led by Mr. Hun Sen. This one is one of them. In fact, for this one, we have the video, we have picture that show us to remember what was happened. But there are other events like the coup d'etat in 1997 also that Mr. Hun Sen did. And I don't know how many hundred and thousand people have died and found, it really very bizarre. I don't know. It's very difficult to say something like you said. It's very hard to believe that the peaceful country like what Mr. Hun Sen called uh, happen like that because of the power, because want to protect the power, and he tried to kill many of them, and even the one if you see in that video, even the one that wounded or injured, there are no ambulance, there are nothing to help, like that people die as uh, it, it's very difficult. This strategy, I don't know, strategy really very tragic. I don't know how else. It's a lot of emotion to see that, but at least something happened. There are some from the tribunal that tried to condemn his bodyguard, the chef and vice chef of his bodyguard in their time. But there's some lies that happen. There's some lies appear in the tunnel, but at least something happened. But it really, really tough to say something. Yeah, it's very hard to hold the emotion. Thank you.
Thank you, Lukpu. I mean, the same question. Do you recall where you were? Do you remember like because sometime we heard the news. This is 1997, just beginning of chaoticness in Cambodia, and I believe from what I read from the news, this is the start of the impunity of everything that happened continue on, and Hun Sen or the regime, what they call never can find a perpetrator at all.
So March 30th, 1997, that's a Monday. I was in my last year in graduate school, and I remember coming home and my dad, that time I didn't know much about my history, so my dad told me, what happened, and of course my husband also. So I was, and I'm deeply saddened because even though, there's the thing about us human being, even though you're not in the country, even though you left the country when you were little, but when it's something happened in your own land, it touches right here in the heart. And I still feel it. When I look at the video that you showed, my heart cries.
We all do because it's a reminder every single year on March 30th that we remember and that we always work hard on what we're doing right now to make sure that, and also the petitions ending impunity, we need to end that. It just remind our audience it's been 25 years that nobody claimed responsible. We can never find anyone responsible for the attack. 16 people lost their life and over 100 people that injury from the demonstrations. And it is an authorized demonstration. It's not something that just go and demonstrate. That's not something that allowed in Cambodia and also in this country where you have to ask permission to go demonstrate. So it's a well planned. It's not they know where Mr. Samrangsi is going to be that morning, and they know where those 150, 170 people demonstrators going to be, and that's what's going on. So 25 years later, Lukpu, any justice coming soon? Anything that you feel that you want to say for the last 25 years? I know this is your first time talking about this in the show, and also I mean your first time talking about it in English. So that's going to be the same question, Lukbu. How do you feel about it 25 years later? I know it's tough, but what do you wish that can happen?
Yes, first of all, you know that Cambodia is a small country. We don't have much geopolitics uh, that will push all the superpower think about Cambodia, help politically Cambodia. So it very hard, but at least what French tribunal do uh, to give some light at the end of tunnel, the condemn these two general of Mr. Hun Sen, Mr. Hing Bun Hieng, and Mr. Hui Pisat, in that time they are vice chef, and Mr. Hui Pisat is in chef of the bodyguard of that military group. And according to Mr. Brad Adam, which is a human rights watcher representative in Cambodia during that time, and some of the FBI agents that they asked the question, and like even you said yourself minutes ago that rarely that they gave the authorization to to do demonstration, but this time it's very easy to get to allow to do demonstration, and everything is well organized by Mr. Hun Sen. In fact, even Mr. Hoi Pisat said himself later on, and he worked for Mr. Hun Sen. He's really get the order from Mr. Hun Sen to prepare the soldier, to prepare the bodyguard along from this area up to Mr. Hun Sen house, So everything is very, very well organized. I believe the story is not that after Mr. Samrangsi and his wife depose the claim to French tribunal. You see it progressing like in 2017. The judge named Sabine Kerry now. She even ordered to call Mr. Hun Sen come to French tribunal to explain the situation, but as Mr. Hun Sen is in immunity, still as a prime minister Cambodia, the French government cannot call him to the tribunal to ask the question, But at least they condemn the bodyguard, the two guys that give the order to prepare the throwing for grenade that kill so many people and injure 100 people, But again, what I want to mention, it's very, very sad when you see the video. There no ambulance, nobody to help the wounded people, the injured people. It really how it really I believe it really ordered by Mr. Hun Sen to do that, and really very, very sad. Yeah, but now French justice condemn these two guys. Once these two person present in France or in Europe, EU, they can be arrested anytime. Even Mr. Hun Sen, once he is out from the power as now is a prime minister, he can be arrested anytime for this for this event, So yeah, thank you. That's what I want to say.
Thank you, Lukbu. The reason why the international community, especially American people, American government get involved, because there's a man that his name is Mr. Ronald W. Abney. He was an American citizen and he got injured during the attack. So as a result of that, the U.S. government, the FBI, investigate the case. I mean, Pauline, would you like to say a little bit on that case, or who who he is and what he say and what is the FBI said during the investigation?
Well, first and foremost, I just wanted to, before I forget, a lot of CNRP chapter around the country is commemorating the 25th anniversary. So at my temple in my town, Modesto, California, we'll be having this commemoration on Saturday, to pay respect in response to your questions. So you're right. In that grenade attack, there was an American injured, an American named Ronald Abney. And not only he is a U.S. citizen, he was with the International Republican Institute. Okay. So he's not only a citizen, he's an official there. And this man is very special. He raised money for the orphanage in Takao. And so, interestingly enough, right after the attack, Hun Sen initially, according to the paper, the Human Rights Watch that I have in front of me, right after the attack, Hun Sen initially said he blamed it on Khmer Rouge. He said, "Oh, it's the Khmer Rouge people that," and then later on he said, "Oh no, it's Mr. Sam Rainsy himself staging the attack." Knowing Mr. Sam Rainsy, I'm sure all of us had some close contact with him. Number one, we know that's it's not happening. It's not, and it's evidenced by the FBI, the American FBI. They look into the theory. The theory cannot be true, and it's not. And they came up with the conclusion, and it's evident after evidence after evidence, an investigation into Cambodian, by the FBI with mounts of interview. They concluded that the two people that's responsible for the attack are the bodyguards of Hun Sen, and they got the approval from Hun Sen. And so when the French judge, called, summoned Mr. Hun Sen to court, he cannot be because of the diplomacy immunity. But according to the former FBI, American FBI, George Tenet, then January 9th, 2000, that bombing attack has been classified as a terrorist attack. And he said, those are responsible against American citizens will be brought to justice. And I quote, no matter how long it takes. So even after Mr. Hun Sen leaves his position, he will no longer have diplomacy immunity. And that's when the international court can come after him. So no one is going to get away with it, according to the former CIA. And this case is very important because this case was the FBI presented this case. At that time, our current president Joe Biden was the minority ranking leader in the Foreign Relations Committee. So this case is not going anywhere. It's going to come into light. There's a glimpse of hope for us.
Thank you, Natming. I just want to show everybody, this is a report by the U.S. government publishing office. It's on October 1999 regarding the March 30th, 1997 grenade attack in Cambodia. So this letter is to Honorable Joseph Biden regarding the attack. So they said number one is they found the report reached the following conclusions. Member of Hun Sen bodyguard force participated in the planning and execution of the March 30, 1997 attack. Hun Sen, being only one of the two people with authority over the bodyguard force, must have known and approved of the attack. 3. By June 1997, the U.S. government was in possession of overwhelmingly evidence of conclusion number 1 and number 2. So, so this will release October 1999. As we all know that during the investigations, the FBI was also pushed out of Cambodia, was forced out. So, and let me show a tombstone of, let me see, I found it. Let me stop sharing. Let me share a tombstone. Can anybody see that, or is it too small?
Yeah, we could see it.
Can you? Okay. Let me see if I can zoom it. Let me see. Cannot. That's all I can do. Oh, now getting smaller. Okay. So on his Mr. Ronald W. Abney, money raised by Ron Abney and his friend has provided for the needs of the Takao Orphanage Center since 1994. A special fund was recently established to enable our qualified students to attend university, even though Ron passed away on December 31st, 2011. His great love for all of the Takao children will live forever. So this is that mean talk about. He was very involved in Cambodia. The FBI, as a result, because of he was injury, investigate. So now moving forward in 2000, Mr. Sam Rainsy filed a case with the French court, and Lục Bu, and I mean been talking about it. So let me try to find that story.
May I add something to that,
Yeah,
Juan?
go ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
you know, he loves Cambodia so much. So after he died, he directed his cousin to go spread his ash in Takao. So exactly 3 years into December 30th, 2000, his cousin went and took the ashes over there, and that picture was taken by her. So
thank you, Namin. So it's overwhelmingly evident by the FBI, and so in November of 2000, Mr. Sam Rainsy filed, Mr. Sam Rainsy, who is a French/Cambodian dual citizen, he filed the case with the French court, and last year, the two Cambodian general, the French court find two Cambodian general will be tried in France for complicity in the assassination attempt. So I believe the date was December 30, 2021. It revealed in the indictment that more than 20 years ago, after actually 2021, it's like 20 years ago, the French court also right now indicting the two men. Let me show the picture. I know we've been talking about them. Let me show the picture so our audience can see who they are and how they related. The very right hand side, that's Hun Sen. If your audience doesn't know who he is, the two left is Hoi Pisat and Hing Bun Hing. That's the two bodyguard that the from the U.S. government publishing office have announced that member of the Hun Sen bodyguard forces participate in the planning and execution of the March 30, 1997 attack. So these are the two bodyguards. So, and according to the report, Hun Sen, being only one of the two people with authority over the bodyguard force, must have known and approved the attack. So going forward in 2021, the French court indictment. So these are two people, two Cambodian generals, will be tried in France for complicity in the assassination attempt. So it's trying to bring to justice the two men, what's going on in 1997. From their picture, Lukbu, do you know anything about them? These two men, these two generals that be
yeah.
First of all, they're not in jail in Cambodia, and those two keep promoting their titles, keep promoting, and they still the two highest general in Cambodia.
Yeah, I believe during that time, Mr. Hoi Pisat is a chief of bodyguard military group of Mr. Hun Sen, and Mr. Hing Bun Hieng is a vice chef of the bodyguard now. Beside that, by the way, Mr. Hin Bun Hieng also is condemned by Treasury of the United States as one person that in the penalty list now of the order general also. But go back to these two guys. The judge Sabine carries a French judge the judgment that what she pronounced it really have been clarified, have been held out by FBI in the United States, and especially Mr. Brad Adam, that during that time, I believe still in Human Rights Watch representant, and Mr. Brad Adams said also in some of the news that he talked with other general. He gave example as Mr. Nhem Ngoon. Mr. Nhem Ngoon is one of the general of Mr. Hun Sen. He said that he really regret a lot that what Mr. Hun Sen ordered to do that attack, and to kill so many innocent people. He said that instead of throw the grenade, kill 100 and kill 16 and wound 316 people, or he should do differently, because all the power is held by Mr. Hun Sen. Why he don't do different option, and Mr. Hun Sen also he said that it is a lot of proof to say that Mr. is only Mr. Hun Sen is responsible, because aside from him there is no other people, there no other authority that give that kind of action, So, but unluckily, Mr. Hun Sen he's still in diplomacy immunity, so they cannot do anything. And yeah, again, I believe the judgment is this judgment is one step go to condemn him, but there's many other, I believe, come one by one that United States also condemn many general that relate to different activity, military activity in Riem Port, and in Krong Placenuk, and some other also, I believe, but it really much more than that. I believe this thing is just one step, but like you said, also me, I said minutes ago, this event is just one of them, but the another one that coup d'etat in 1997 that also killed hundred and thousand people that we don't have any much video or picture, but really in the backfield, So it's sad, but I believe again still say that at least some judgment initiated by French judge, but for sure Mr. Hun Sen can be arrested and and he even his military general can be arrested for other act. Like he killed so many innocent people, the activists of environment, the activities of opposition party, activists of order, for really a lot of people that this regime kill in the vaccine. So we need to get justice one day. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Lukpu. I mean, 25 years right now, 21 years later, the French court found again like the FBI and they move forward. How do you feel? How are you hopeful that justice doesn't matter how long, how justice will be served? You muted.
Well, I hope so. Like Mr. Puth said, these two people, Hoi Pisat and Hing Ring, they committed atrocious act and they got promoted. In fact, the Human Rights Watch paper said that in June of 1997, the Hing Bon threatened to kill journalists because they dig into the story, and they get promoted. Now. Hing Bon is the lieutenant and deputy commander in chief of the Royal Cambodian Armed Force, and Hoi Pisat is the Undersecretary of State in the Defense Ministry. So they're getting promoted for abusing human rights. But I still have hope. We have to have hope, otherwise we can't go on in life. I still have hope because after all these years, someone outside of the country, not Cambodian national, with the help of His Excellency Mr. Sam Rainsy, he wants to fight for justice for those people that died and for all of us and for humanity. So I'm glad that he filed the petitions, and the court and the judge decided to bring these two people to justice, and Hun Sen will be next. And I still hold on to the former CIA Joy Tenet. Sooner or later, those responsible will be brought to justice, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you, thank you, Natmin. Yes, there is still hope. And like I said, it's tomorrow in America and also today in Cambodia is 25th years anniversary. And even though a glimmer of hope, it's still hope. And Mr. Sam Rainsy gave an interview in late February. He said the culture of impunity has come to an end. Cambodia has suffered for decades because of this impunity. So, and impunity for the rich and powerful in the country where they typically untouchable. So, remember these three people. It's very tough to look at them and also to know that many lives have been many family, not just life, many family have been broken because of their crime that they committed. And at the same time, these two generals keep going up through the rank and keep going, and they are not the only two. There are many more. And when we talking about ending impunity in Cambodia, we are talking about the two legislations that also is at the Senate right now, the HR 4686 and S3052. It's a target sanctions on the Hun Sen and his crony that committed human rights violations and committed the backsliding of democracy. So if you are American citizen, we are still working on those and we still need your support. If you have not reached out, if we reach out to you, if our audience reach out to you, we need your voice, and your voice is powerful. And it said it's 25 years already. Mr. Samrangsi filed the paper in 2000. So in 2021, which is 21 years later, the court just it found these two people, and Hun Sen is not named one of them because he is the leader. He is the head of state. So the head of state has immunity. But if he step down, he will also be in. If he ever step down from his position, he will also be included. And so that one thing that he's probably still holding on to power right now because of that head of state, the shell that he get from being head of state. We are at the end of our show. It's not something that we like to think about, but it's something that we need to remember. We need to remember the life that lost and the life that and we still fighting right now, and we still fighting. Mr. Vannarin, do you have anything for last minute regarding the 25-year the come that we remember the passing of 16 people?
Yes, I just want to tell everybody, the Cambodian living in Cambodia or Cambodian that have two citizens living in abroad, different country, Canada, America. Even I said that the Cambodia still far from justice, So many organisms, many world organisms, they put Cambodia in the last ranking, either justice in Cambodia, transparency in Cambodia, journalist right in Cambodia, or something else, corruption. It really, the Cambodia is far, far, far from a normal country, So everybody should know that and should do something to help legally to throw down Mr. Hun Sen. What I said here is legally, So I hope the next election will be very, very helpful. We have a strong opposition party, so everybody should support that. And I hope to give the voice of people, the voice to the activists that don't have the same idea of Mr. Hun Sen, because as normal people, we have the right to say something else from what the leader say, And I believe the time, I still believe Mr. Hun Sen and his regime still gradually have difficulty, Recently, they talk about they don't have money to pay the lending money from China, so they need to reimburse every month, every year, every month. They don't have money. Even China right now, they don't have the money to help Cambodia anymore. So I believe the Hun Sen regime, both politically and economically, will be suffer in the next few months or next few weeks. I still believe, I strongly believe that really the end of his 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 regime, his empire, Even I don't believe on his son that can take over easily because I'm pretty sure there are many people that do the evolution the same time with Mr. Hun Sen. They have their children, they have their son, they have their daughter, and they don't have any power. They put really in the corner. Them, they don't happy. I don't think Mr. Holmanet can do anything about that. He will even more make more terror than his father. So please get vote to somebody that you like, to party that you want to support. That's it. That my last voice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lukpu. Our audience, Samuel, is asking questions. If there's any ceremony this weekend at the temple close to you?
In Montreal, we want to do that, but still Montreal still very hard to get the people unify two people together, because the Canada is very still about the COVID, even especially the old people, That's why in the beginning we want to do the New Year in the restaurant, and after that we do every year. We at least CNRP do in Cambodian New Year and Christmas New Year. But since 2 years include this year, we beginning we want to do that, but at the end we don't want to. We cannot do that. We still afraid that a lot of people that support CNRP don't want to join. And the same thing for this. More active now, so we decide don't do that. We do different way. We raise the fund to do different way. So we could not do that. Yeah.
Thank you, Lukpu. Pauline, any last word? And also at the end, please let us know which the temple again in Modesto that gonna be commemorated.
Okay. Thank you. So for the I'm so sorry. I'm hopeful in regards to what you said about those two pieces of legislation, the HR 4686 and S 5032. I am hopeful they will pass, and that is one way to bring justice to Cambodia. So the HR 4686, like you said, Linda, is targeted sanction. And I don't want people to get the wrong idea that people in general in Cambodia are being hurt by this sanction. This sanction is only for Hun Sen and his cronies, the top leaders. So we have met, Linda and I and a group of other people have met 67's, representative of the senator or the senator himself already. So, and we are very hopeful that this two pieces of legislation will pass, and that is hopefully when they do pass, it'll bring cannot bring the life that lost back, but it'll bring some closure to us, to the family, and to the country. And the name of the temple that we were going to it's called it's in Modesto. It's the largest temple in Modesto on Grimes. And if you're interested, just email or write to us, the CNRPA, and I'll give you the address. Thank you.
Thank you, Nami, and thank you, Lukpu. In Long Beach, we have a commemoration. We have Mr. Samrangsi gonna be joining us on Saturday, April 2nd. Also, we will do a commemoration for the 25th years of the Khmer attack. The temple is Long Beach Khmer Krom Buddhist Organization Inc. It's on 1248 Orange Avenue, Long Beach, California. So please, if you are in Long Beach, in LA, surrounding Long Beach areas, please join us. Please join us at the Long Beach Khmer Krom Buddhist Organization Inc. Again, the address 1248 Orange Avenue, Long Beach, California 90813. Please contact any one of us, and then we will provide you the address. Temple all over United States, temple in Canada, and I'm sure it's in Cambodia. Please join us in remembering the 16 lives that have been lost, and also many entry, and not just that 16 for March 30th, but many lives that have been lost due to impunity in Cambodia. So we need to end that impunity. So please support our campaign at change.org, and also we are still working on both legislations, HR 4686 and S 3052. Please also join us and in support if you are Cambodian American. And if you are American, thank you so much for how support us. And so from that, thank you so much. Thank you, Natming, and thank you, Lukbu, for joining our show. Thank you for giving us history, and thank you for Natming said there's hope. 25 years later, there's hope, and we still have hope. Thank you so much.
Okay, good night.
Thank you, our audience, for being here. We are at the end of our show. I hope you learned something today on regarding March 30, 1997. It's not something that nice to listen and nice to watch. It's something that very gruesome and something that we need to remember. And I said it earlier that 1997 is 1997 was a bloody year for people in politics. So especially opposition regarding politics in Cambodia. So please, wherever you at, please take a moment and remember the life that lost today, actually in Cambodia today, 25 years ago. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, our audience, your comment and your encouragement is very very appreciated, and I hope that you have a good night. And if you in Cambodia, I hope you have a good day, or wherever you at, good evening and good day. And see you next Tuesday. Thank you and goodbye.